Hey, we here.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
It's been a time.
All these damn meetings we done had.
Facts.
Meeting hour after hour.
Facts.
Man, good to see y'all boys.
Good to see you too.
Man. Why we here though? Talk to me. Mr. Hustler himself. Let's just start there.
Why we here? We're here to spread knowledge, spread love,
Absolutely.
create opportunities. First and foremost, and just to really elevate our platform
Absolutely.
that's already provided to us
Real.
in different capacities.
Absolutely.
But also to, people speak about it all the time. It's like there's no reason for me to be up on a certain platform if I can't do nothing for anybody else. Or I can't share that knowledge with somebody else, or I can't share that playing field with somebody else. So I think the Hustler Spirit Show is really just a avenue and a platform where we're, like I said, we're spreading knowledge, but we're also just conversing about the many gifts and talents that we've been blessed with,
Right.
And the multitude of opportunities and things that we're involved in.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So first of all, welcome to the Hustler Spirit Show.
Welcome
I don't
to
think
it.
we said it,
Welcome
bro.
to it.
Said.
Brand new podcast in the
Facts.
city, about to take over. So for me, why this podcast is, we've done this thing in different variations in the past. So for me, just the opportunity to communicate the weekly, daily struggles of just being on this journey,
No,
right?
facts.
Of being a hustler, being a motivator,
Yeah.
overcoming, conquering things. And then I think what separates us from other animals is our ability to communicate.
Mhm.
Right.
So I think our strongest skill is just being able to talk. Seeing my son grow, what makes my life easier is when he can communicate back to me. So I think using our skills of communication and talking is the only way we can get this information out. Because I know it's all of y'all in y'all's particular lane, but I know for me in my lane, people are always asking questions. I ain't got enough time to give you all this information. I will, but now you can tune into the podcast and we got a collective spot to give it out. On top of, information is king, right?
Absolutely.
So if I can give away one tool, one nugget, because I got here by listening to y'all, I got here by, those hours of conversation. So I feel like, let's put it out on opportunity for more people to dive into it. And if one person can take that step to become the best versions of themselves,
Absolutely,
it was worth it.
Fair.
It's real. Hustler Spirit Show is great. It's great. I'm glad we're here finally. We got our own daily lives. I think it's time to talk about it. We go through different struggles, different ups, different downs. X been in the game for a while. Daniel been in the game for a while. I'm still fresh, so it's different. It's different outlooks on all of this. So it's good to talk about it now. I can't wait to let y'all tune in and see what we got.
Absolutely, and the time is now.
I'm telling you,
right? Like the time is now.
Why now?
We only getting older,
Yeah,
right? We only getting older. So
is that a shot? Why you have to look directly at me? So let's get this out of the way early. I am the oldest on the podcast.
I wasn't even going there.
Every situation we're in, I am. I'm gonna take those shots. I'm gonna address them.
I promise I wasn't even going there, bro. I wasn't even going
Y'all saw he looked directly at me. We're getting older.
I just remember the time is now though. The time is now, bro.
And why I like the time being now is that, when you try things in the past, you can be like, oh man, we missed the opportunity. But as long as you're growing, you're getting better, it's always going to be the right time.
Right? And the thing is too, like you can say now and you can say, there's no better time, but when things don't work, usually if you try to force it,
absolutely,
you end up running into more obstacles than you have to. So
absolutely.
I think we did a good job of sitting back and letting it play itself out.
Absolutely.
And getting into the mode of getting a system, right? And that's what I've been learning the most throughout this journey, at least this year, last year, is just creating systems to where you walk in and it runs like a well-oiled machine.
Absolutely.
If you think about the jobs that we've worked in the past before starting this entrepreneur journey ourselves, we walked into well-oiled machines in a way, right? We might have had to tune it up a little bit, but it was already a machine when we walked in.
Absolutely.
So why now is hey, look, we've done the process of the strategy. We've done the process of communicating. We've done the process of thinking it out and everybody setting expectations. Now Now it's time to execute.
Exactly.
Now it's time to execute.
Execution.
I feel like we waited for a while anyway. Like you said, let it play out. It came the way it wanted to come. You know what I'm saying? It came the perfect time, perfect way. We talked about it so many times, but it didn't happen for a reason. Right. Now look how it set down, look how it came about. Right. So, it's time to turn it up. Right. Ain't no holding back now.
Right.
Yeah, bro. I just feel as if, for me, having a child now and having a son now, it's like this information I got to get out of my head, right? Because there's going to be residual information that one day I want Jack to be able to go tap back into, right? Where was my dad when he was in his late mid 30s? What was he thinking? What was going on? What was his struggles?
Those archives.
Right.
Those archives,
so this is how you live on forever. So now, I feel like I have another notch on my belt that I can, not giving parenting information or advice by no means, but that's another thing that I'm walking on a new journey and a different journey that I can speak to, that has only fueled my ability to be an entrepreneur, to go that much harder and to hustle.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You speak of that word hustle, and I just think about like just the name of the hustle spirit, how many names we ran through.
Just trying to figure your humble hustle. Let's talk about it.
It might be nah.
I'm with it.
I just think that, like, again, we without forcing it, right? Because we all came up with names.
Absolutely.
We went out to dinner. We had the group chat. We had the notes, and it was something already there. It was something already there, and it was like, hey, look, we are all aligned in that with that word in our different capacities. We all want different streams of income. We all know how to diversify the things we're doing within our creativity and things like that.
That's it.
And I also thought that it was perfect as well to have that platform where others can jump on there, and it's a household thing that becomes this marketing tool for all of us.
Absolutely.
Right. So I think we all have that giving spirit. And I think that it just plays with what we do, and to have a hustler spirit, like you don't. I mean, that's a different cloth. It's a different cloth. Like it really comes with it's either in your blood or it's not.
Absolutely.
Like it's that simple.
It'll show.
Real quick.
Because it's more of this thing that people will think because you're a hustler you don't get tired. No, that's the complete opposite.
No, it just means I'm willing to really go get it.
I'm willing to go get it, and we understand that being tired is a part of it.
Talk to
right? And we understand the process of hustling and making sure that it's leading to something. At this point, I don't really care about outcomes anymore. I care about, am I giving everything I need to do while I'm in it, right? The outcome going to be what it's going to be, right? That's already written. But every time I get an opportunity to show up, to be myself, to show who I am and what I'm about, am I showing up in that moment, right? So it's just crazy. Back growing up, hearing the word hustler was this negative, had this negative connotation. Yeah. So, but now understanding, in all of our capacities, right? From me and mental health and motivate the game and all the things that I do, there's a certain level of hustling, because the more I hustle, the more people I get to help, the more people I get to impact. Right. So I got to have the energy to give the energy. So I'm just hyped because hustling goes into everything that we do, but now we just hustling with a purpose.
With a purpose. Right. Yeah, I love it.
So I think with understanding hustling, you had to understand how you hustle. Right. And I think a part of that is by figuring out who you are and what you bring to the table and just your own unique ability. And as I say all the time within Motivate the Game and therapy and things that I know that I do, is self-awareness is king, right? And knowing yourself, the ability to self-assess is super powerful in everything you do. So I think for me, you learn every single day. You got to stretch yourself. You got to put yourself into these different lanes and these different uncomfortable situations. So for me, my entrepreneur spirit is I just honed in on being a motivator, right? I just honed in on not trying to be like other people, right? I honed in on the fact that if I'm in an environment, I'm here to motivate. Like, don't come to me about some quitting, stopping, giving up. I can't turn this off, right? So I try to. That's why if y'all see me out or I'm out, I don't know. You kept asking me last night. You all right, bro? I don't know how to talk to people and not motivate.
All right. I get it.
I don't know how. I can't turn it. I used to fight to turn it off and try to do things to turn it off. But now if you come to me, that's what you're going to get, because because I've gotten to the point where my life is parallel with my work.
Like that,
right?
No, that's real. Facts.
This is who I am.
Yeah.
Right. So I think in self-assessment and understanding who I am, I had to understand that and make sure that I'm putting myself in different environments and different situations. People understand that, right? I went to grab some food right before I came last night. Next thing I know, I'm talking to the bartender. She telling me how she's struggling, get her master's because she pre-med. Next thing you know, she teary-eyed. We got a whole conversation going. I can't turn it off.
Yeah.
That's real.
That's also thing, when you know that it's not you. It's 100%. Like it's just in you. Right. That's true spirit talking.
Yeah. 100%.
That's when you know you're leading with spirit
100%.
versus leading with self. And there's no ego in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I want where you get started at.
I'm telling you, fitness is like a different type of spirit for me. So, I think my spirit is like leading. I like to lead.
Okay.
I got 2 daughters. I had one for the longest, for 5 years, just Layla. So I had to teach her how to lead while I was, still young as well, trying to learn how to lead, you know what I'm saying? So, being in the fitness journey, being in fitness in general, seeing people struggling, like he said, you want to motivate, you want to help somebody else, they feel like they're out of shape, they're overweight, all type of stuff like that. I think I've always been, in shape, you know what I'm saying? But it didn't take too much because I played sports, played football, basketball, just like you guys did.
Trash.
So
little ass.
We gotta look at the camera.
We got a one-on-one.
Trash.
Don't worry about it.
He wore number 76 and was running back.
We gonna put some highlights in.
he wore number 76.
I was a $160 and I would blow both of them balls.
$160 and wore elbow pads. and he had the crossbar on his Facebook
with the high cleats.
Yeah, his knee pads went down to his shins.
Don't listen to none of this, yo. Don't listen to none of this. But nah, for real. The hustle spirit, it's
Black
in me.
Probably the one that wore footies. He let his ankles show.
He had on high top cleats.
Don't talk
with
to
no
him.
socks.
He ain't wear no helmet.
Hey. Go ahead, Black.
Nah, I can't get back. Hold on. But nah, for real. Just leading. The stuff I do now and like leading. That's why I like group classes, because you leading not just one person, you leading multiple people.
Yeah.
You see different people, different reactions to the stuff you do. They see you doing it. They see you're young. I have most people that's 30 and up. Like my people beside me, 30 and up. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to lead an older group versus you being young. They looking at me like you always been in shape. But I'm like, you can get there too. My mentor used to tell me like it's always an inner athlete inside of you, which is true. You want come on.
Everybody ain't athlete.
You can always
don't go thinking you athlete.
Nah, bro.
We can't even be serious.
Let me stop, bro. If you're not an athlete, you're just not an athlete.
For real,
it's okay.
It's something inside of you. I'm telling you now, it's something inside of you that you don't even know is in there.
Absolutely.
But you got to find out who it is and what it is. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But anyway, just leading I feel like my spirit is just leading. Like I'm here to lead other people.
That's what's up.
Like I said, it was Daniel, same way. Motivating. I like to motivate as well to do the same thing he's doing. It's just about how hard you want to go. Just like you said, you talk to somebody. First thing somebody talk to me about is fitness. As soon as they see me out as fitness, so it's like, all right, cool. Sometimes I want to turn it off, but you can't. You got to talk about it. You can't help it. So you know what I'm saying. I just like to stick on to leading. Like I said, I got 2 little girls, so they got to see me lead so they can lead when they get older. I want them to learn how to be independent as well, so they don't have to depend on another man or whatever around them. You know what I'm saying? So, my spirit.
That's what's up.
I'm gonna say we gonna lead. What you got, X?
Yeah, my entrepreneurial spirit is definitely, I would say, definitely leading. But I've come to a tunnel vision with my 3, which is a catalyst, a connector, and a creator.
Makes sense.
3 C's.
I see it.
Yeah,
3 C's.
So that's where I've honed in over the last couple of years of just trying to figure out, what is my purpose? Like what am I here for? And I have the ability to connect people like no other.
Right.
That's just who I am. Sometimes I don't even like it. Sometimes it sucks, right? Like having to connect people and then boom, they're gone, right? And when that you could have them in your life for a certain thing,
right.
But then sometimes it's just, hey, they're not for you,
right?
So I connect people really well. Catalyst, I do believe that when people come into my bubble or to my environment, I'm automatically trying to spark their mind to, like, if you just kind of like you said, if you tell me you want to play football, well, matter of fact, don't tell me you want to play football, because I'm going to say something that pushes you into that thing, or I'm going to try to figure out, why are you sitting still, right? If you're telling me, if you're telling me, yeah. So I feel like we're all catalysts in that capacity, and then creator is just like the bottom line, overarching for me for everything. I love to create. I feel like my mind has no limitations. I feel like God really put me on this earth to create in so many different levels, whether it's opportunities, clothing, environments, my ability to create and to turn nothing into something, to me is very much a blessing, and I thank God every day for that. So those are my three. I feel like that's I'm a catalyst, a creator, and a connector.
That is very well said.
I appreciate it.
You should have went first. I could
have
came up with three P's. Three B's or something.
but I'll be honest, that goes too with like the years of being in this thing and having to shake off.
How long you been in the game?
This is year 9. Eight, 9. Yeah. So coming up on 10 years, you start to shake certain stuff that you think that you here for, and you're like, I'm not this. Like, man, I'm really good with communicating and connecting people, but that does not mean my lane has to be mental health. Right. I went to school for it. But how many deliberations have we had of me trying to go down this lane and force this lane when it's like, hey, X, you can still
absolutely
throw in the things that you're good at, but it does not have to be you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do this. Right. No, I'm a catalyst, I'm a connector, and I'm a creator.
And that happens. I think it talks about, the next thing we're rolling into with risk taking, because it talks about with you saying that of understanding that a lot of times we'll do stuff just because it's close enough to what we want to do. For the longest, for 12 years, I worked in agencies and all. Now, mind you, I gained experience, I gained understanding of the process, but I never fit because it was just close enough, right? So until you're willing to understand that self-assessment, who you are, that's the only way you'll be able to create and be confident enough to create this thing that embodies everything, right? So like with me, like we talk about innovation and risk taking, with this idea of mixing sports training within the mental health capacity, it was crazy, right? To even think about it, but I had to understand the things that I was naturally good at, right? I wasn't naturally this great therapist, sit and talk, because even I got uncomfortable. I remember my mentors early on in traditional therapy, you got to be comfortable with the silence. But what if I'm not? What if I can do something else within that silence, so I'm not uncomfortable. So that's where the idea of, wow, I can have them do a drill if I don't know what to say next. Let them get better at something else while God is speaking to me. So when we talk about, that innovation piece, especially with mental health, is I'll talk to people all the time, especially young people, grown people too. They've never seen a therapist that looks and talks and is able to connect with individuals the way that I am. And that's how this thing should be. Yeah. You shouldn't have to go to a therapist where they feel as if they're above you. No, we're concurrently learning, right? I've just gone through enough stuff. And that's what I wanted to say earlier, just to make a point. With all of us, people from the outside looking in would think that we're perfect because we're here. It's the complete opposite. We've understood our imperfections, and we're trying every day to fight them. So I don't want you guys as viewers and listeners to think that just because someone's doing more than you, they don't mess up, they don't have these things. No, it's the complete opposite. Man, what? Right? If anything, people who, and you'll see this when you start to chase after your dreams and your goals.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
Nobody knows what they're doing.
Trying.
And it becomes even harder. Just the only caveat that we have is we don't stop.
Right.
Right. So being a risk taker for me, again, now I got to come up with new risk, I guess, because now we're 3 years out post-COVID. But when this thing started, I took the leap of faith in the middle of COVID, right? Because I knew I had to do something so drastic that I would trust it, because I had always been on this fence. And I remember before that, you used to talk about people throwing around the word entrepreneur. Like, bro, I get it, but if you still got a safety net, that's not really, you got a side hustle. Right. That's not really a full on entrepreneur. So
which is fine. I
like which is fine. But I remember that I was never going to be willing to take that jump unless it was something drastic, right? Where I was forced to fly.
Right. And I think I used to say that because I knew what the risk felt like to be like jumping off, like legit jumping off the boat, and really not having a life jacket, nothing. And then once you hit the water, you're like, oh, I can swim. I can swim. It's gonna get rocky sometimes, right? It's gonna get rocky sometimes. It's a lot of salt,
or it ain't as deep as I thought it
was. Right, exactly. Or it's like, darn, I see the island. Like I can get to the island. I'm gonna get tired. You know, I might feel like, you know, I'm not gonna get there.
I ain't gonna drown,
but I'm not gonna drown. I'm not gonna drown as long as that you know what I'm saying. As long as that is in your communication to yourself or your self-awareness of I'm not gonna quit. Right. Then you're gonna be fine.
What's the biggest risk you took, Black, in this process?
Same thing. Leaving a job, you know, with a family.
Yeah.
Saying you didn't like you didn't have a child yet, but like I had a child. You know what I'm saying? I was scared to do it, scared to leave. But it was to the point where I'm looking at, you know, I want somebody telling me what to do. You know, I'm the type of person like, okay, you tell me what to do, but if I'm doing it better than you, I need to be telling you what to do. I'm saying? So
I am defiant. I get it.
So, you know what I'm saying? Just doing that, leaving a job, you know, security, you know, leaving security, leaving stability, and trying to create my own stability and security was my biggest risk, just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, everybody's saying, no, you need to stay here. You know, you're gonna come right back. You're not gonna make it. I'm like, hey, y'all don't believe in me. Like, I'm 24, 23.
Right.
You don't believe in me. Like, just let me try it. Right. You know what I'm saying? If I got to come back, I'll come back. That's all right.
Bro.
Like, it's still here. You still going to be here too. You know what I'm saying? You still going to be here too. Ain't nothing wrong with a 9 to 5. There's nothing. I would definitely go back to work.
Absolutely.
And those are the people that allow us to do what we do.
Absolutely.
Like, I appreciate the people who love that structure and need that structure of, hey, bro, you know when your check coming every week, you know what that insurance look like, you know what that pension look like, that 401k, bank account probably healthy. You saying maybe you have your own struggles too, but that ain't cut out for me. That ain't me, bro.
Don't let the culture of being, you know, this entrepreneur stop you from thinking. Like, if that's what you're good at, my thought was always, don't complain. Right. If you're complaining, change it. Right. Like you can have this, you know, understanding of I need to be pushed, but y'all know the difference between complaining and just wanting to push through, right? That was always my thing. Like, if you're complaining, that means there's something you need to change. Life is too freaking short for you to stay in a space and complain. But if you're in the night and you get it and you're loving it, then go get it. I was just defiant, right? I was never a very good employee. I was late. I was doing things on my own time. Like, it always got done.
Me too.
It always got done. Nobody ever complained about me, but I just knew, like, I had this defiant spirit because, especially with helping people, I just could see, like, why are we not doing it that way? Why? Like, y'all doing all of this around,
sending you to everywhere,
when all I need to do is play basketball with this kid and he'll listen. Like, y'all trying to show people how smart you are and use all these big words, then
all I need to do is, all you got to do is do this. Oh, but I can't do that because that's against the rules. But all right, cool. I'm gonna create my own system.
Who made it? So I think innovation, that is the part of innovating, because innovating is teeter-tottering on that line of acceptable, not, you're right on that thing, but you got to push through those barriers.
All the barriers.
I think the cool thing about risk taking too is there's this, it's almost like a seesaw in a way. Is the more
you think about, you've been on a seesaw?
I am big years.
You ain't been years. That whole seesaw wouldn't move. Up on the other side. He'll be stuck. Like, seesaw would not go up.
Hey, bro,
sit down, man. Push up or something.
Right. Run and jump on this joint, bro. Hey, pause.
Whoa. Hey,
look.
Bro.
So look, the joint about if you think about a seesaw, like if you think about pushing down as taking risk, right? and you think about the other side as confidence going up, right?
I like
but what
that.
I've learned is the more risk you take, that confidence just goes up and up and up and up. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I've been able to learn throughout this of innovation, because it plays hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Innovation comes from confidence.
Exactly.
Like believing in yourself so much. I started listening to the story of Amazon. What's his name?
Come on, Bezos. Jeff.
Bezos. Okay.
Yeah.
And how he started, bro. It's one, he's a genius, but two, if you just look at anybody, period, if you believe in yourself enough that people think you're crazy, it's gonna work.
Absolutely.
When people start to question, like, why are you doing this? How is this gonna work? That's when you've reached some level of confidence in yourself.
Absolutely.
When people start to doubt and start to, you know what I'm saying? So I think it plays hand in hand. And I think over the course of the years in my journey, I can only speak to my journey or people around me that I've seen and observed. Innovation it's like unlocking a level on Mario Brothers or whatever, whatever game. It's like unlocking a level each time, and your creativity just starts to expand and expand and expand, because we're all here. We're all creative geniuses.
Absolutely.
Like we all have this beautiful mind. Like God did not bring us here just for no reason, right? Like we're all here for a reason. It's just like, I feel like, God is just like, hey, look, are you going to trust me?
Absolutely.
Are you going to trust me enough that I can really start to unlock that door that I got for you?
But you also got to do your groundwork.
You do got to do your groundwork. You do have to do your groundwork.
Because like you talked about, you almost have to be delusional in your outlook to stuff, to what you're doing, to be so confident, because confidence without work is delusions, right? Oh, I'm gonna do this one day. But confidence, once you put in any type of step forward. Now, when we talk about the level of work, it's just doing the things that you know how to do, right? It's starting there first, right? I didn't know how to run a business. I still don't think I do. I didn't know how to do it, but I started with what I was good at. I started that I know I can motivate. I know I can talk to people. I know I have this innate ability. So I started with that. Did I have all the other stuff in place? Heck no. But I know as you go on this journey and your dream is big enough, then the people who you meet along the journey, your dream's big enough that their dreams are a part of it. You know what I'm saying? That like it becomes, so when I read this book called Who Not How, and it talked about when you're starting to build a team, or you're starting to meet other people who their dream is something you're not good at, right? So I didn't like doing like the administrative stuff. So for the longest, that would hang me up. I was like, forget it, I'm just gonna do the best I can. Then here comes, my assistant director, who that's her dream, is to do administrative work and do those things. So I think if you can continue to focus on where you're going and how big the things are that you believe in, how confident you are, and just what you're good at. Just believe in what you're good at, and let's start there.
Facts.
So, but in that process, one of the hardest things to overcome on a daily basis is that disbelief, that self-doubt, that fear. I'll be transparent. I'm still struggling with not so much self-doubt because I believe in myself, not so much fear of what's going to happen. It's more so that fear of losing it all, right? Or going backwards at times. That's the one that kind of comes into play for me at times. So how do y'all overcome, or how did you, or continue to overcome that self-doubt and that fear?
So one, fear is not real. There's a poem that we used to say when I used to do Bible study in college.
A long time. That's the last time you went to Bible study? God dang.
I said when I used to.
That boy went to Bible study in college.
It's a minute.
No, but and it said, fear is a mind killer. It is a tiny little evil that disintegrates me from the inside out. I must learn to face it and control it. Right? So
good memory.
Yeah. You get good memory when you do Bible study. No, but like fear is one of those things that it's not real, and it's one of those things, again, as the more that you really, really have faith, the only thing I can chuck it up to is faith.
Absolutely.
And like faith doesn't allow fear to exist.
Real.
And faith is also one of those things that you really can't see. You know, take the definition out of the Bible, the substance of, you know, things hoped for, and the evidence of things not seen. So everything that I've done, I have seen it as a vision, but I also did not know how it was going to come. And that is the you a wild boy. I also didn't know how it was going to be attained. So when that faith, when you really start to talk about, hey, I believe in myself, like, do you believe in yourself enough to hit rock bottom?
That's real.
And not have anything, but know that, like, when you are on the ground, the only thing you can do is go up. Like, do you have enough faith to really believe that, hey, this year may be the worst year of my life, but I'm still going to see another day. Like, this 365 turns into one again, right? Like, so I think overcoming it is a daily task. I can speak about this forever because fear and self-doubt comes in so many capacities, whether it's human or whether it's, you know, internal, whether it's family, whether it's mental. It comes in so many capacities, but you're constantly fighting it every day. But the one thing I would say that I combat it with is faith, and just having my spiritual relationship tight and sound, that I no longer lean on myself about it, and understanding that if I give it up, it's not of me, it's not about me, and these situations don't last forever.
Absolutely.
It's tough.
Yeah, that's where I've kind of come in. You know, that's where I've kind of like evolved into over these last years. It's just really, truly understanding that it's like, when you really, really, really take yourself out of the picture, regardless if it's an event or if it's a podcast or if it's a new article of, a new product of clothing, and you really take yourself out of it, and it's like, why am I doing this? You really find the why, which is how this was created. Once you really find the why, then nothing else matters, and you can execute outside of what could be or what may happen, so on and so forth. Like, this is not about me. This is not for me. I'm here for a reason. This idea came into my head from God. I have to execute, and it's gonna work how it's gonna work.
Absolutely,
like that's it.
It's crazy you said that. I remember we were sitting at the table, and I think it was one of your festivals. You was like, "It's gonna rain all day." Your mom was calling you all the time. You was like, "Bro, I'm gonna cancel it." I'm like, "Bro, it's up to you." You like, "I don't know, I'm gonna cancel it." Whole time the festival came, there's no drop of rain.
There's no drop of rain.
I'm
and
like,
it had 90% chance
of rain
that
bro.
day.
That's all faith. That's all faith. If you don't know what faith means, that's faith right there.
And my thing you spoke on, one of the most powerful things is belief, right? Like, I remember, you know, my pastime now, I'm back into, you know, playing a few video games here and there, right? So
pastime, how long ago was that?
60s.
No, pastime means
19, was it 65?
Pastime. See, y'all don't even know. It's currently what I do when I have time that I need to pass.
Oh, my pastime.
Yeah,
okay,
my past, like time pass. See, look at you. No, I'm talking about now. So what
80s language.
But what's
in my pastime, I ate tuna fish.
Good God.
In my spare time.
There you go.
So what happens is I was playing video games, and I remember sitting there playing. I'm playing online, and I got to playing, and instantly I thought that the guy I don't know who he is on the other side was better than me. Right? Instantly, I just was playing like, oh, I'm gonna lose, and I had to stop myself. Bro,
you ain't never even seen this.
I ain't never even seen him. He ain't never played against me. I don't know nothing. But that level of belief is so powerful that you just gotta believe. And if I lose, I lose. But losing the battle twice, right? So I had already lost, thinking I'm not good enough. And then if I did lose, it was a lack of the sort of belief. That's the thing to separate. We have a lot of athletes that motivate the game who went off to college. Our largest graduating college-bound class that I've had since we've been open. And one of the biggest things I told them is that what I had to learn when I was going to college, that I wish back I could do it again, was it's not 3, 5-star, 4 stars. Who believes in their ability the most, right? Yes, when you get down to it, yeah, there's sheer just talent. But if you believe that you can do something, it'll take you further than any skill ever will. Like I don't care if you run a 4.3. If you don't believe that you can utilize this 4.3, if you don't believe that you can do X, Y, and Z, it doesn't matter. And then you touched on like fear, right? And I just want to touch on that too. Fear isn't real, but I want you guys to understand there's a difference between fear and danger, right? So understanding that things can be dangerous. I don't want to be, I'm just going to do this thing. So understanding that danger can be real, but understanding the difference. Fear is this thing from this place of unknown, right? I'm scared of what's going to happen. Danger is when you put some facts into place, some things that can harm you or hurt you. So understanding those pieces. And then lastly, back to the faith, right? Like Nicole has sent me a video and it brought me to tears, because you get on this journey, and as you learn more, you start to question more, right? You start to like, not question like something's not right, but you just start to like want to know more about your beliefs and about God and getting closer and all of these things. And the video talked about that the biggest piece of believing in God is believing that he loves you. Okay. Right? So point blank, period, right? So understanding that no matter what we do, what we have done, things we've overcome, is understanding that and believing that he loves us. So going back to the faith part is that if you believe, and I could only understand this now since having Jack, there's nothing Jack could do that make me love him any less. Right? And you have kids. There's nothing. So we will put this idea of our faith and belief in God based on, I got to have a relationship. And the video said, do your kids have a relationship with you, or do you just love them? Right? So there's nothing that my son can do for me that will make me love him any more or any less. So understanding that also in our belief with God is that he's not looking for us to do it. There's nothing we can do that can make God happy or mad or anything. It's all about believing that he loves us and then operating out of that love. So because he loves me, my faith is going to allow me to believe that he loves me and do the things that I need to do and that I feel as if he put me on earth to do. The only caveat is that you stay in his presence, you stay around him, you read about him. So all you can do is understanding how much he loves you more. That's it. So if your girls came and sat with you, the biggest thing they're gonna learn, my daddy really loves me. Mm-hmm. They don't gotta do nothing. They just want to come around you to get your love.
All they need is time. That's it.
So that popped this bubble of all this hoorah up and down of believing, doing all these things. No, believing God loves you, right? And that leads into your faith of understanding like, yo, this ain't about me, right? God loves me. So if he put it in me, I'm gonna put it out.
Real. Yeah, that fear ain't real, man.
Fear is not real.
You gotta fail to even figure out what you're good at.
Yeah, bro. So
you gotta fail. You gotta fail to figure out like, can I trust in God? You know what I'm saying, is he gonna pull me through all this stuff I'm failing through? I didn't fail so many times in my life. I'm only 26. I done failed a lot. You know what I'm saying, I can get deep. Failed a lot. My girls, same thing. They see family, they see oriented things, but it's like it get to the point where sometimes stuff gotta go different ways if it ain't your path with God. God pulled you through your own path, and you start learning that, okay, this might be a failure, but it's some brightness on this other side. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be another person, but it could be life. It could be a business. It can be gaining a friendship, but gaining some type of knowledge from somewhere else to uplift you so you can uplift them too. But That's like, fair. You know what I'm saying? Just overcoming that self-doubt, doubting yourself. I think everybody does that at the beginning of, especially being an entrepreneur. I don't know if I can do this. I say that all the time, like Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they do the same thing. Like, he gonna outsell me, but they sell the same way, make the same money, but they in the same field, just
McDonald's
like that.
On every corner.
Every corner. I'm saying it's the same thing as far as life in general, just being self-doubt, your self-doubt and overcoming it. And what you gonna do to overcome it? Are you gonna continue to sit there and be sad and be petty? I can't even get the words out. Be petty about it, and not figuring out what you really want to do. Like I said, back to me failing, like just failing in general, it makes you want to stop everything you're doing. But when you got people like this around, you always want to keep somebody around you that's going to uplift you too.
Right.
You can talk to God all day, but sometimes you think God not listening to you because he didn't answer right away. But later on, about 2 months, 3 months down the road, he answered. You was like, wow, that was my failure. He put me through that for a reason. Now look where I'm at.
Absolutely.
I got a message from an old client. She said, I remember your Saturday classes only had nobody showed up, but now look, you got 25 people in your class,
bro.
And I'm like, that's crazy. That was 2 years ago, and she still believed in my dream. It's just like all you do is believe. Like they said, God, you got to believe in God. You know what I'm saying? Just figure out what was for you, and talk to him, and just keep your hand with his. He gonna pull you through it.
Absolutely. And failure ain't always failure, right? Like I mean that by saying like it's only failure if you stop.
Right.
Like because I remember before I started this journey, I used to hear like people say you got to fail. I used to be scared. I don't want to fail. But when you're in it, but when you're in it and you don't stop, you don't even see it so much as a failure. You see it as a part of it, right? So yes, it can feel devastating, but you don't process it like it's only failure is if you stop right after it. Because if you continue to go, then that's when you can look back, right? I remember I spoke to a group of kids, and at a church. Yeah, I spoke to some kids at a church, and we talked about your ability to look back is how you understand all the hurdles you had to go through. Because when you're jumping over them, you don't see the importance of them, right? But it's until you stop and you look back and you see and what you've overcome and you understand gratitude that everything works together, bro. It's never failure. Oh. Man, we back. Yeah. Not even back. We here. Forget that back stuff because this is a whole new
segment
show.
The feel is crazy. I feel like this happened before. We already been here. That was a vision, though.
Yeah, bro.
Like you said earlier, it's just a vision.
Expect a lot of community stuff from us. Like I said, a lot of cool clothing stuff. This podcast is gonna blow up. I'm already gonna speak that.
Oh yeah.
And I think each one of us is, just be on the lookout for some cool marketing concepts and some community engagement, creativity. Guest. Our executive producer, Bear, is he got some cool
shout out to you
things lined up for us.
Right here, the show gonna be the best in Virginia, best in Cali, wherever we at. We're gonna be the best. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
But shout out to our executive producer Bear. He turned it up, so we're gonna continue to turn up for him too.
Y'all getting the best of us. Peace.